And good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is 9/9/2020. Well, okay, so tomorrow we'll have a quiz, and I'll have the quiz loaded up onto Canvas for you. And we'll talk about that in tomorrow's Zoom meeting. But for right now, today, this is your homework. I have it already on Canvas. You can upload it. I'm going to go through it, but then you need to do this, okay? You absolutely have to do this. So let me go through this with you, okay? So here's what the quiz is. Number one, graph. Now I know that's an absolute value, so when it's some kind of a V, right? Because it's an absolute value graph. I'm going to first go to the vertex of this. I'm going to go through this, and then if you guys want to stop or pause it, you can. I know the vertex is the opposite. Remember the opposite inside? So it's at a +1, -3. Okay, always the opposite inside, always opposite. Okay. So my vertex of this absolute value graph is at 1, -3. That is right down there. I know the slope of this absolute value graph is 1/4, so it's up 1 over 4, up 1 over 4, and just the opposite, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph it. Boom, boom. Okay, opposite, don't forget, of the inside. Now, domain. Well, this is pretty wide because domain has to do with x values. So my domain is going to be x equals all real numbers. That's my domain. And now the range is different. The range is the y values, okay? And the y values start at a height of -3 and go up. So we can say y is greater than or equal to -3, okay? Good enough. Okay, number 2 goes with this graph, okay? So it looks like the vertex is at the point 0, -2. I have a slope of up 3 over 1. And so I'm going to say it is a y equals a 3 over 1 absolute value of x, and then I could put a 0 in here. I don't really need a 0. And then -2. Okay, there it is. Number 3. Now number 3 says to write this absolute value graph as a piecewise function, okay? If I do that, then I have to recognize that there are 2 equations, okay? There really are. I've got equation 1 and equation 2, or line 1 and line 2. All right? So line 1 seems to go down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. Down 3x plus, well, -2, isn't it? Right? The other equation 2, goes up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, so y equals a 3 over 1x -2. Since it's a piecewise graph, we have to have a borderline, and they are connected right here at x equals 0, right? So f of x, y are the same thing. So first graph is not f of x, but f of x equals a -3x -2. But that's if, it only exists over here, right? From the borderline, it doesn't go over here. It goes from 0 back. That's if x is less than 0. The other graph, f of x or y, same thing, is a 3x -2. But it doesn't exist everywhere. It's got a border point, right? Borderline. So that's if it starts at 0, or if x is greater than 0. Now there's one thing, this point here at 0 has to be counted. It could be counted here or here. I'll just put on the first one. There you go. That is the piecewise equation for this absolute value graph. Okay. Okay, number 4. Graph the piecewise graph. Okay, so let's graph it. So first of all, before I do anything, I realize it's a piecewise graph. So it has pieces, and the pieces are connected right here. Here's my border. There's my border. At -2. Now I'm going to need a piece of graph paper, so no problem. Just going to get out piece of graph paper here. Put this on. Slide that up so you guys can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my border at -2. Before I do anything, I'll put my XY axis. Okay, put my X, my Y, XY axis here and here. And then I'm going to put in my border point before I do anything. So at -2, I've got my border, right? -2, -1, -2. It's an invisible line, so you know, just dash it in. There's my invisible line. So I've got two lines. F of x and y are the same thing for us. So the first equation is simply a y equals a 1/2 x plus 3. Alright, I know how to graph that. Again, this is a y-intercept. 3 does not start on my invisible line. It's a y-intercept. Okay, so I start at 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up 1 for slope, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Right? Except for I don't want all of it. I only want a piece of it. What piece do I want? The part that's less than 2, this part over here. So the part that doesn't exist is the piece bigger than -2. So I want to go the piece that's less than, solid dot, because of that little equal sign here. Okay, and there's my first piece right there. Right, there's my first piece. Second piece, y equals 4. Let's see, that's a horizontal line, right? Y equals 4. So let me write that down. So my second line is y equals 4. Y equals 4 is a horizontal line at a height of 4. Let's go up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes all the way across like this, except we want the piece that's greater than our border -2. Open circle. There it is. Alright. Hopefully you can do that on the quiz tomorrow, okay? Alright, let's move on to number 5. And again, if I'm going too fast, just stop the video, okay? So, first of all, let's graph the function. Okay, I'll do that in one color. Got to graph both. And its inverse. Okay, I'm going to do the inverse in green. Okay, and I need also the equation. Okay, so first of all, the function. All right, invisible 0. So start at 0. I'm going to go down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. I'm going to graph that in. Okay, there's my original. That's y. Now I want the inverse, or f of x. Now I want its inverse. Okay, now probably the easiest thing for me to do is just take a point. So I've got 0, 0. That's going to stay. And I've also got a point at 3, -2. So I've got a point at 0, 0, and I've got a point at 3, -2, and I'll do a little switcheroo. Instead of 3, -2, I'll do -2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 0, 0. Looks like the slope is down 3 over 2, down 3 over 2. Okay, so I have the line. I have its inverse, but I don't have the equation. Well, that's easy. The equation is, looks like it's a slope of down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, so I've got a inverse, or f inverse of x is equal to a down 3 over 2x plus 0. So you need both. I need the graph the function, graph the inverse, and give me the equation of the inverse. Okay? Okay, 6. Okay, 6 isn't that hard. Let's graph the original. Start at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slope it down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, down 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Okay, I'm going to graph that in. Okay, there we go. Now the inverse. Well, let's just take a couple of points. Okay, a couple of points. 1 point, let's take way up here at 0.08, and let's take this point at 2, 0. We can also take 1, 4, but so all I'm going to do is switch the points. Get the inverse, so I'll have 0, 8 becomes 8, 0. And 2, 0 becomes 0, 2. Let's graph those. 8, 0. So I switched them. It's the inverse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 0, 2 is here. And 1, 4 is there. Go ahead and graph that line in right there. Okay, there's my inverse. Now, what about the equation? Well, that's not too hard. Looks like it's down 1 over 4, down 1 over 4, so f inverse of x is equal to down 1 over 4x plus y-intercept plus 2. Okay, we turn the page and we're almost done. Okay, turn the page. All right, 6. Nobody should miss 6. 6 is the easiest question. Inverse. All right, I can do that. -1, 5, 4, 3, 4, 1, 7, -2. What did I do? I just switched x and y. Okay. All right. Last but not least. Okay, number 7. Your class has ordered water bottles for a fun run. Yeah, that's back when we used to have those. The total cost in dollars spent on the quantity ordered. The cost of the function below represents the cost of bundles of water bottles, because we're going to buy them in bulk, right? So the thing is, if you only buy up to 50, you get this price. If you get up between 50 and 100, you get this price. So, you know, the more you buy, the better deal you get. So, f of 150. Well, f of 150 has to be plugged into equation 3 because 150 is here. So I'm going to go 0.25 times 150 f of 150 equals plus 20. Probably the shipping cost, right? You got to pay for shipping. So if I do the math, right? I do my 0.25, turn it on helps a lot, doesn't it? 25 times 150 plus 20. My cost is $57.50, which is a price, $57.50 for 150 water bottles, okay? F50, well, F50, I'm actually going to have to put it in here, okay? So F of 50, I'm going to put it into this equation because I don't put it in that one because it doesn't equal 50. So F of 50, I'm going to put it into the second equation, is going to equal 0.40 times 50 plus 20. All right, let's use my calculator. I can do that. 0.40 times 50 plus 20 is 40 or $40. Now, a lot of kids miss this last piece. Let's not, and nobody's going to miss it, right? What does f of 150 means? Well, what is the problem all about? I want words. I want words. What does this mean? I want words. Well, it's simply the cost. It is the cost of 50 water bottles. That's it. Use words. It's just the cost of 50 water bottles. Okay, that's all I have. I will do a Kahoot with you tomorrow, and we'll talk about the test. So that's it. Go ahead and upload the worksheet or the review, and I want you to do it.